everybody, to episode 12. And our title today is Single and Trying to Find a Soulmate. I'm Dave Ford.
And I'm Todd Steele.
Guys, thanks for coming in with us again today on a sleepy Saturday.
Definitely.
And oh my goodness, I have found myself many times today yawning and just wanting to crawl up in bed. And it doesn't sound like a bad option as soon as we're off the air today, actually. First of all, how was your week, man? How did you do this week?
Oh man, my week was great. Consisted of coaching football. I had a football game on Monday, and then we got rained and lightened out. So then we got to play again this Monday, but we played Monday and Friday, and now we got to play again this Monday and then this Friday, and that should finish up the season. If we don't finish up the season, it'll mean we make the playoffs and all of those different things. So hopefully we can make it to the playoffs.
Man.
If not, I can definitely start this second job. It's about that time. It's getting close to Christmas time, so it's been a great week. How's your week?
It was okay. It was kind of stagnant at work, which is a good problem to have. You know, you've been watching the work I've been doing. A lot of anniversary stories for Tyndall Air Force Base, and finally got those over with. But now there's 4 more stories in the can coming along the way. So. Love the job though. I realized this is my second favorite job I've ever had now.
Oh, that's great.
Drive behind Jacksonville Jaguars.
That is great.
Yeah.
That is great.
I'm digging it. I'm digging it a lot.
So in other words, no one miss teaching right now.
No, I don't. You know, that's like we say, we miss the kids.
Yeah.
We miss the kids.
Miss the kids.
But hey, for more money, less stress, and better hours,
I'll take it.
can't beat it, brother.
I'll definitely take it.
So this is another subject, just like last week, where this was something that was on your mind.
Oh yeah.
And I know this is probably something you talk about in church.
Yes.
And you're a marriage counselor too.
Yes, I've done some of that. Definitely done some of that. One of our guests, I think last week, that was tuning in, was talking about being single and different things, and just asking for words of advice. So I was like, well, we can do a show. And of course, Dave has the greatest titles in the world, so Single and Trying to Find a Soulmate was his brainchild, so that's what we'll definitely be discussing today. We offering up advice for women and men, because I haven't been single in a while, but...
Thank God. Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
I listen to friends all the time talk about how awkward their husband was when he was trying to date her. And so she was like, I can definitely not see him trying to talk to anybody else. So he was beyond awkward trying to date. And I think once you get that one good person or that person, you're just like, all right, I'm going to chill.
Well, I'll tell you like this, dude, it's scary out there.
It's very scary.
It's very scary, and again, I'm far from a professional on this, and I stumbled into my relationship with Demi, and God had a lot to do with it. I really don't give myself much credit at all.
Okay.
And I know that when we started easing into this at the end of last week's show, you were talking about how the preacher was spraying and getting his mate to almost manifest into existence.
He was speaking into existence.
So he had a purpose.
Oh yeah.
I think that's incredible. I think I've told you this before, but go down memory lane just briefly here. My divorce wasn't final yet, but we were separated. So I had done some dating, but I was far from having myself together. Like you talked about last week, be wife ready.
Oh yeah.
Me? No. I was the opposite. I was a different Dave.
Yeah.
I was a cold Dave where I was all about myself.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get hurt again. I was tired of putting myself out there and feeling vulnerable. And I had gotten to a point, right before I met Demi, I had gotten to a point where I said, you know what? I'm good. I'll be alone.
Oh, yeah.
I got my kids. I love my kids. I will just raise them. And I don't need anybody. I'll just do this life just alone.
Yeah.
And so I can't really give advice on what it's like to have yourself together, because I'm still getting myself together now, and I'm lucky and I'm blessed that she allows me to find myself, took my way back.
I got you.
So this is going to be more so your deal, where I'm going to sit back and listen, and I'll do comic relief.
Comic relief,
right?
But when you think about it, you do have yourself together. You know where you want to go in life. You know what you want. You've actually treated her like the woman she's supposed to be. If not, she wouldn't be with you. So I think you have a lot to contribute to it, whether we know it or not. We don't give ourselves enough credit, and I think that's why a lot of people are single. They get into a relationship or they're trying to find a person to date or to be with, and then it's like you're trying to get this person, and you're like, all right, make me happy. How are you going to make me happy?
Yeah.
How are you going to help all my insecurities? If I send you something, are you going to respond how I want you to respond?
Yeah, that's a big
one.
one.
Are you going to make me feel important? And I don't think a lot of us take enough time to sit back and say, you know what, I need to get myself together before I bring somebody else into my craziness.
Right.
But a lot of times with guys, we're never together. We just see this woman and we're like, dang, in order for me to be with her, it's going to require this. I can't be the same turd that I was in my past life, in my past relationships, when I want to be with this woman right here.
Right.
So it takes a special woman to change a man. Now the thing is, if you're with a man and he's not changing, he's just not going to change.
No, you find that out pretty quickly.
Yeah, you find out real quickly, but a lot of people get into relationships and they feel like, hey, I can change this person. I can change that man. And I'm a strong believer of, if you show me who you are, I'm going to believe you.
Yeah.
I used to didn't believe that. I was like, maybe they were just having a bad day. But no, when people start showing you who they really are, you got to believe them. And that's the hardest thing for a lot of us, because a lot of times we're like, well, my feelings are involved now. So I got to make this work. Or I just got out of a bad relationship and now I'm in this new relationship, and I don't want nobody to say it's my fault that all my relationships are failing. So a lot of people will stay in stuff that they know is crap and just deal with it because of perception. That's why I feel like strongly a lot of relationships are not working, because we're getting a false sense of what love really is, because we see so much on social media.
Yes.
Social media is like a gift and it is a curse, because people can pretend to be happy, or they can pretend to look this way, or take pictures and we're on vacation here and we look like we're happy, and then when you meet those individuals, you're like, man, what is wrong with them? They are some of the saddest people I have ever met in my life. But looking at Facebook or looking at Instagram, I would think this was the happiest couple in the world. And so therefore we get a salt. We don't really see what a relationship is like. There are going to be hard times. There's going to be times when you're like, you know what, I just wish I could just knock you upside your head, because you're just not getting it.
Right.
You're not going to do it because of the person you are. But a lot of people think when they look at the Joneses is really like that. And we need those relationships. People just say, you know what, we're mad with each other today. That's why we hadn't posted each other in a while. That's why we're not talking. That's why we're not doing this thing. We need to start being real with people, and people need to start looking at like social media like, okay, people can pretend who they want to be.
Exactly.
On social media. I watched Dolomite, my name last night.
I saw you were going to watch that, yeah.
Listen, oh my God, listen. I was in a whole nother zone watching Dolomite. I had no idea that Rudy Raymore was working at a record store. He had went through all these things trying to be a comedian. He was awful. Yeah. And this bum came in and started talking all things in like riddles. And he was like, way down in the jungle, and he just broke it down. So Rudy Raymore took that guy's whole style and made Dolomite. Okay. He was never Dolomite. He was never a pimp. He was never those things, but he took the persona on. He was able to pretend like he was somebody that he wasn't. And a lot of people are doing that in relationships. Yes. They are pretending to be a certain way, and they really aren't that way. They are really miserable on the inside, and then you're looking at this person's relationship and you're like, you know what, I want to be just like them. Or women say, well, her husband is doing this, why aren't you doing that? And you're like, I'm not with it. I'm just tired. I am who I am. So we get a false sensehood of what different relationships are. People got to get into their relationship and figure it out for themselves. Like, do you want to stay? What do you like? But we're living in a day and time where people are getting in relationships and they're saying, "Hey, make me happy."
I think there's one thing that I can give good advice on, and that is know who you are.
Oh yeah.
You have to be self-aware, and again, I knew a few years ago that I was a mess, but I also knew what I could do well.
Oh yeah.
And that's something that we've talked about on the show before too, is give yourself credit for what you are doing and don't beat yourself up for what you're not doing.
Oh yeah.
And I think as men, if we just keep it simple, if we have the old school mentality that still works of, if you really want to treat a lady right, open the door for her. Invite her out on a date and compliment her when you first see her.
Oh, yeah.
Act like she looks amazing. Okay, and actually just don't act like it. Like, mean it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, tell her that you're excited to see her. When you're texting, say, "I'm really excited about seeing you tonight." It really is about how you present things.
Yeah.
And once you're done presenting, then you got to deliver.
Yes.
You just got to be yourself. I think if we could adopt that kind of mentality in everything that we do in life, whether it's our job, it's our family, it's our potential spouse to be, it is be yourself. And again, that person, leave it up to them to see if they believe that's who you are. Don't fake it. And that leads right into the social media aspect that you were talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a real good comment.
Okay.
Simon Peterson says, we need to learn to be successful single before we can bring another person
Absolutely.
in the mix.
Absolutely.
A lot of people have a hard time with that because they base their happiness on a relationship.
That's common.
Like, you can have all the money in the world, it seems like, but if you don't have a person that is shared with you, you're like miserable.
Right.
Jermaine said, "He that finds a wife finds a good thing," and it is. And the Bible also says it's not good for a man to be alone. Like, God knew that we were going to need a woman. Like, I don't care how successful we are, we need a woman. You need somebody to come home and you're not dumping everything on, but you're like, dang, I got somebody that just love me.
Right. Right.
And just gonna love my dirty drawers and see like, but it's not good for us to be alone, and we need that reassurance and all of those different things. So it's amazing when it says we need to learn to be successful single.
Yes.
So when you are single and before you get married, before you meet that person, you gotta learn to be happy within that space.
Yes.
You gotta say, you know what, my relationship doesn't define who I am.
Right.
Now, it's gonna be a beautiful thing once you get that relationship and it starts to define you out more, but you have a career. Too many times now, people are single, trying to get a soulmate, and then they got this career going on. They're like, I don't have time for a relationship. I don't have this going on. But the thing is, we make time for the things that matter the most.
Exactly.
And a lot of us have dated our careers for a long time.
Yes.
A lot of women now are dating their children. And let me explain that. It's like your whole effort goes into your kids.
Yes.
You don't know anything. And listen, that is a great thing. It is a great thing. Don't get me wrong. But
you lose yourself.
Yeah, you definitely lose yourself. So you wake up, those kids get grown. They're 16, 17, 18, going on out the house, and now you're at the house by yourself. And then you put your hopes and dreams on hold.
Yes. For
your children, and then you're like, dang, this is not how I want my life to be.
No.
And then people find themselves in the middle of their life like, let me change my career, let me get better, let me do this, let me do that, and you let your whole life pass by. Or even people that are married, they are in relationships with their careers. Mm-hmm. I found myself plenty of times in relationship with coaching.
Yes.
Or a relationship doing this and doing that, and we don't put that relationship first. So I think like right now it's like it's very hard to be single because there are a lot of single people out there, and it seems like once you get somebody, everybody wants that person. It was like nobody ain't want that boy with one eye, but now all of a sudden you date the boy with one eye, he's attractive now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nobody wanted the little bald head girl, but now that you date her, she becomes attractive to everybody. So we are living in a dog-eat-dog world, and because of what we post on social media all the time, people want to be a part of that. One of my frat brothers says, before we can love others, we must first love ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Before we can be in a relationship with someone else, we first need to establish a relationship with God. That is extremely important. Everything else will fall into place, and men have to do that. We got to establish that relationship with God. And a lot of guys don't believe in a higher power.
Well, that's an understatement. I mean, I think that society as a whole, and I think society tunes into what, ties into how we treat each other right now. This was something we touched on last week too, was a lot of people are out there looking for love, and they're really not sure how to find it. What does love look like to them? It could be just somebody's simply inviting them over for a cup of coffee or to watch a football game. Our society is beating us up right now. We are meaner to each other than we ever have been. Yeah. We are more selfish than we've ever been.
Definitely.
We are eating ourselves alive from the inside. And so trying to find that quote-unquote right person, which is defined differently by everybody.
My goodness.
And, people say, well, I'm not perfect, but I'm perfect for you. And you're like, yes, that's all you need to be.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many different dynamics that go into that relationship building aspect. Mm-hmm. And not everybody does the same thing. It's a complicated road. Yeah. And just because you're not doing what your friends do, and like you said, keep it up with the Joneses, that whole thing is a myth. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. Stop trying to follow everybody on social media and reality TV.
Oh my God.
It's simply too hard to do. It gives you a false sense of reality, and you're always going to feel like you're not measuring up because we can't measure up to that. It's impossible.
Exactly. Miss Sweeting has asked this great question. She says, so after finding a soulmate, do y'all think erasing social media is something people should do? I really feel like I would say yes and no. It just depends on your friends. No, everybody's not going to celebrate your relationship. A lot of people are not going to be happy for you. Then you start to figure out who your true friends are, and you like, you know what? Let me start to delete these people. I'm not saying go create a Facebook page together, your name and his name on it, and so on and so on. But what I am saying is, you have to know your friends. You have to know your audience.
Yes.
Everybody is not going to celebrate you and what you got going on. So a lot of times it's best that we just, I would start eliminating people. You don't have to eliminate social media, but I would start eliminating those people that have something negative to say because, let's just face it, a lot of folks don't celebrate you when you are celebrating something about yourself.
There's a lot of jealousy out there.
It's a whole lot of jealousy. So if you want to see who your true friends are, put something out in the atmosphere, post it. Hey, God bless me with this. Watch how many people don't like it.
Right.
Watch how many people do like it.
Yeah.
So we've got to learn, if it's important to us, we gotta let it be important to us. And I will start eliminating people before I start eliminating the things that I do, because we all browse social media. If you're addicted to it, I would definitely say, hey, get rid of social media for a while and just chill. But everybody is not going to celebrate you, and you will break your neck trying to validate how you feel about everything to everybody else. So if you're happy, be happy.
Yeah, you do have to have blinders on. I guess that's what you're saying. You kind of just have to be that horse where you've got tunnel vision. It's okay to listen to your friends. It's okay to see what they're doing. But don't take what they say as gospel.
Yeah.
Don't say, oh, well, since you said I need to be doing this, then I guess this is what I got to do. You have to be your own person. And again, you have to know what you bring to the table in the relationship. If you're not feeling like you're bringing much, then you need to be honest with that person.
Yeah.
And say, look, I'm not sure you want to get into this with me. This is where I am right now. I'd love to share a meal with you. I'd love to take you out. But be honest right from the get-go.
Yeah.
As busy as we are, that's the truth. We don't have time to be messing around with date after date after date that fails and fails and fails.
Yeah.
And so, how long has Tinder been around now? What, 6 or 7 years? 8 years?
Oh, it's been around a while.
Okay. So, that was something. I remember when that came out. And I remember thinking, this is never going to work.
Yeah.
Never thought I would be a part of that. Never thought I would find the love of my life on it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Right.
And so that's why I say that was a God thing. He brought Demi to me, otherwise I never would have found her.
Oh, yeah.
But see, the whole dating online aspect has definitely changed the game permanently.
Big time.
The eHarmony thing, I think, was the pioneer, was it not?
Yeah, eHarmony.
And it's still going, you know. And you've got Christian Mingle, and you know, we simply live in a swipe right or swipe left society.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous because, like you said earlier, people can make themselves out to be something that they're not. They can hide their children. They cannot be honest and say, "Yeah, I've got 3 and 4 kids," right? Maybe you just got 1.
Yeah.
Honesty is not something that is popular in the dating scene, and it should be the #1 thing. Yeah. Right off the bat. I know that some people want to hide who they are because they're scared they're not going to find somebody that will accept, like you said, their craziness.
Oh, yeah.
We all have a bunch of dogs and cats out there that we try to corral every single day, and we think, gosh, nobody's going to love me because my life is maybe chaotic on the outside.
Oh, yeah.
But there's somebody inside that somebody does want to accept. You know, there's somebody out there for everybody, but it's really hard to find that person.
Oh, yeah. I just got to...
I can see you smirking about something.
Because somebody put on here, hey, Ty, hope you find your soulmate. I am married. My wife is on here. Hey, this is not for me. This is different experiences, different things that I have seen over the years, different people I mentor, different people I talk to. So it's not for me.
Yeah, we're both good. We're good.
It's not.
We're great.
Yeah, it's definitely not for me. So I apologize if I caused any confusion. Y'all see Janila still on there, so okay, cool. But I definitely back to the part when I was saying that you know people want to date somebody like nobody wanted the guy with one eye or wanted the girl that had like one piece of hair. Amanda Bell says, I think the reason some people become attractive when beginning to date someone isn't typical of the person, but more so the fact that it has now become a challenge. At least that's my perspective. Many times, once that a person has ruined that relationship, that person becomes unattractive again. Or then there's the mentality of, I can have what you have. It's sad, but a definite reality. Hope that makes sense to y'all. This is my perspective looking from the outside. And a lot of people do that. They want what you have.
Yes.
It goes back to everybody's not celebrating your relationship. You have to be careful of what you post on social media daily. We just seen that with me. Because people are out there, they're trying to ruin you. They're trying to stop you. A lot of people are not happy. So
they're miserable.
Yeah, people wake up daily and say, you know what? What can I do today to ruin Ty's day? What can I do today to aggravate Coach Ford? What can I do today? And we have to be, prayed up, willing to go in and say, you know what? I'm gonna hit this thing dead on, and I'm gonna figure it out. And because people are just like that. But it's so hard in this day and age to try and find a soulmate. And, me from the outside looking in, I think a lot of women they just try so hard. I mean, it is so hard being a woman. First off, you have to, just
much respect. Yes.
Yeah, just like the beauty in it that's going like you gotta have your hair perfect. You gotta get your hair did. You gotta get your eyebrows arched. You gotta have your hair a certain way. If your hair is not long enough, you want to add extension to it. And now they have.
It's always evolving.
I'm like, okay, now we got eyelashes. We got everything. I talk to different women that they get Botox injections in their face, and it's like, okay, are like you happy with yourself? I'm happy with the way you are. A lot of women now feel the need. They got to go enhance their body. They're getting butt shots. They're getting all types of different things.
It never stops, dude.
It's never ending, and it's like then you get into a relationship and you're like, dang, make me happy. Or are you happy with my? You're always trying to find that reassurance about your body, and then you got this made up body now that you're constantly showing on Instagram. How is that going to help your new relationship? Mm-hmm. I was listening to. I hate listening to Kanye West. It gets on my nerves. It just wrecks me.
Preach.
To the core. I I'm so sick of them interviewing him. Like, please stop interviewing him.
He just won't shut up though.
But he said something today he said something the other day I listened to that really intrigued me when he was talking about his wife and how he doesn't like his wife to be sexy the way she is all over the internet for everybody to see.
Okay.
And the thing is, like, you met her, that's who she was.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you married her, that's still who she is. She got worse after y'all got married. No more videos or anything like that. But now he's at a point where he's like, man, I don't want to show this. And I tell my daughters all the time, like, you're not going to get a guy just by showing off your body. Or you're going to attract the wrong guy. The right guy is going to look at you and be like, dang, she has like an amazing mind. Like when she talks, I have to listen.
You're so funny. Dang, she has an amazing mind.
Yeah.
As men, we don't say that right off the bat, dude.
I did. In my old age, I wouldn't even have a conversation.
You lie.
Listen,
I don't want. You lie.
For instance, I was talking to someone today when I was at work. I was like, listen, I was on Facebook and I was scrolling, and I said I gotta go home and get my wheel together because I promise y'all, I'm telling y'all right now, I'm looking in the camera right now, guys, listen. One day I'm going to go on to be with the Lord. Hopefully.
Shit, I'm living forever. What are you talking about?
Prayerfully. I'm going to go on to be with the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
But I promise you right now, do not come to my funeral with your cell phone out, taking a picture of me in the casket. Do not do me like that.
That's
I don't want my picture anywhere on the social media after I'm gone. If you remember me how I am. Mm-hmm. Do not take pictures of me and think that's what I want. I don't understand why people take it. But listen. If you got a woman that doesn't know you, or you haven't talked about, then she's gonna let everybody go up there and take pictures of you. And big as my face is, and big as my lips is, it'll be the worst picture ever.
You do have a big skull.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I can't deal. Right. So you got to be able to have people that you can have these conversations with because beauty is going to fade. I'm not going to be
fades quick.
Yeah, I'm not going to be this handsome always. I got gray hair right here, right now. So. You're not going. Those things fade away. But can I have an intellectual conversation with you? When we get into an argument, can you argue with me fair?
Yeah.
That means you're not going to bring up anything that I told you in private to use to hurt me.
Yeah.
So if I told you that I went through this sad situation in my life and how me and my mom didn't have a relationship, and you use that against me in an argument, I can't trust you anymore. Or if I use something against you, that's the type of person that you want. And if you're going to date somebody in this day and age, you're going to date somebody. You need to date somebody that's going to make you better.
Oh yeah, amen, amen. We need to patent that whole file cabinet thing. I mean, we brought that up in like the last 3 shows. The file cabinet. Yeah. You can't bust out the file cabinet.
Oh yeah.
What does a file cabinet do? It keeps you organized, and you put it away, and you don't look at it. Exactly. So don't do it in your relationship. Don't say, oh, well, you know what? I know something about you, and I'm going to get you now.
Yeah.
The second that you do that, you are letting evil infiltrate your house.
Oh, yeah.
You can't do that.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing. I'm getting a lot of stuff right here. Ms. Sweden also said that things surface that are new to you. How do you defend yourself against people who you were once close with about things you didn't know about? Like I said, you got to let go of all these negative people. I think God shows us a thing for a reason. Obviously, these people were never our friends and never meant to be in our life. You got to start looking at it from this standpoint right here. A lot of people in your life have an expiration date. Some people are meant to be around for a season. And
out for a reason.
Yeah, and some of them are meant to be gone for a reason. So I've learned something from everybody that's in my life.
Yes.
And I always say that my circle is so small, it's a dot. The more you try to make that circle bigger and you start putting in pieces to the puzzle that do not fit, I'm quite sure in your life and everybody's life, you find people that you're like, okay, these are my true friends. Right. These other people I think were around, I use for validation, like, okay, these are some more friends, but they really wasn't your friends. I can say being a part of my fraternity, I really learned what friendship truly is. Mm-hmm. And if you have to always argue or prove yourself, they are not your friends. No. They're not. So I'm telling you, everybody's not going to be happy for you. Delete those people. That's the reason why it's a delete button. Delete them and go on and be happy.
You brought up something a few minutes ago that I want to touch on too. You talk about being able to talk to that person.
Yes.
So It's one thing and it's a great thing in order to look at that person and you're like, wow, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
And you relish in that. And then you say, wow, she's very sweet to me. And then you do the checklist. But at the end of the day, when things are dark in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to have that person where you're just confiding in them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you said, you're not dumping on them. You're just confiding in them. And then you respect them enough that you listen to their opinion.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't tell them that they're wrong when they are listening to you and sharing how they feel. Mm-hmm. If you can do that, that's your first indication you got something real.
Yeah.
But if you don't respect that other person and you're like, hey, you don't know me, back up,
yeah,
then you're not there. And you may not get there.
Exactly. I know Miss Sonia said, I wish women could see themselves the way God sees them, the way He made us be confident but humble. And it just goes back to all the enhancement a lot of women feel like they have to do. I look at my daughters and I tell them constantly how beautiful they are. Mm-hmm. So you won't get my daughters with the line of, oh my God, girl, you are beautiful. Yeah, my dad tells me that all the time. Mm-hmm. And you know, I was raised in a time where women didn't say a lot. They were quiet, but there was so much like elegance and like power behind them. Mm-hmm. And I think, you know, the a lot of men were sorry back then, but the women upheld their man to a whole nother level. They made him feel like a king. They treated him basically like a god. And now I think a lot of men have come up and a lot of women have taken a step back because they've been done wrong for so long.
Right.
But when you do have a king in your life or you do have a queen in your life, you got to recognize those things and say, you know what? This is not the average person. I can't treat him like I used to treat Willie. I can't treat him like how I used to treat Billy, or I can't treat her how I used to treat Jenny. And we have to be able to come up and be the best version of ourselves. When you meet that person, you know, you're like, man, I've got to change for her. Yeah. Or I've got to change.
It shakes you up.
Yeah, I got to be better. Like, oh, it's something about them that I can't shake loose. Like I can't let go of. I'm breathing, thinking about them constantly all the time. Yeah. So there's a shake up, like you said in the menu, like, let me straighten up, let me sit up right. Let me go meet the parents, let me go do things that I said I wouldn't do. I mean, I've met guys that was like, I would never date a woman with kids. And then this guy, oh man, I love this guy. He told me, he's like, I met her, and I was just joking with her and her friend. I was like, yeah, I can't date nobody with kids. Not knowing that the woman already had like 2 kids. But, you know, so many years later now, they've been married over close to 30 years and got kids of their own. Right. It is a beautiful thing. You never say what you won't do.
Well, you never say never in the first place.
Yeah, especially when it comes to love. Love has its love. You know, love is Mike Tyson on my shirt. It'll hit you in the face.
It's a great shirt, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Who gave you that?
Yeah, like listen.
It's a pretty cool dude who gave you that.
Very nice guy who gave me this shirt. He just automatically knew that I needed Mike Tyson on my chest.
Damn. Cool to have friends. It's cool to have friends.
I mean, I got so many great comments. Sonya also said, that's right, Medea's vice at best. Some people are leaves, branches, and then the roots. You got to shake a lot of people off. I got preach, I got woo. Yes, baby, he is preaching facts, and Sonya, you guys are killing me. I'm trying to listen to y'all and listen to the game. Always winning. Sorry. So
Auburn's beating LSU right
now.
Oh my
goodness! This is the one day that I'm rooting for the War Eagles.
Oklahoma lost today. Did you see that? Man, that means your Gators are moving up.
Yeah, we definitely got to move up.
Number six tomorrow.
But women, you got to realize, you know, how beautiful you are, how special you are, and a lot of times it doesn't. I don't like enhancements. I'm gonna just tell you, I don't like.
I don't either. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I don't like all the face. So when I grab you, I want to grab real.
Well, let's make the distinction. Unless you have some sort of deformity that you want to fix.
Listen. There's a lot of beautiful women now that are just changing their body. Right. I can go back to Lil' Kim. When Lil' Kim first came out, man, I thought she was amazing. She was like, she had this little hood side to her, but she was just cute. Somewhere along the lines, I don't know why she just didn't feel beautiful no more. She like totally changed her face, and now she looks like Miss Piggy or somebody. God forgive me for saying that, but it's not the person that I thought she should be. Right. I mean, I'm like, why are you doing this? And somewhere along the line, she wasn't happy with herself. She felt like she needed to do an enhancement. She felt like she needed to change this. She felt like she needed to be better on that way. But we've got to learn to start telling our women how beautiful they are. We got to learn to tell our daughters how beautiful they are. Because eventually they're going to date somebody that's kind of similar to you, or somebody similar, totally opposite from you. But you've got to raise them up in a way that you know they will be okay.
I think as equally as important what you just said is what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
Listen to them if they have a problem with their body.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Every woman does.
Oh yeah,
and that's okay. I think that's society's fault. It's also everybody does feel some sort of ineptitude. They do feel inadequate.
Yeah.
Men do as well. I know I do. There aren't enough push-ups I can do in a day to get myself looking better.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always so hard on myself. Women take that and go 10 times worse than men.
Exactly.
And they can be not dead gorgeous, and they'll find something about
They'll find a
themselves.
flaw.
Yes. So it's important for us to say, you know what, baby? Okay. Then just keep working on it. I think you're beautiful just the way you are.
Yeah.
Then they say, no, you're lying. And you say, no, I'm not. I really do. I mean it. And they say, no, yeah, but you look at somebody. And, you know, from that, if we stay positive about it and keep the right attitude instead of going, well, you know what? I just can't win. Because I tell you you're beautiful and you say you're not. But I'm just going to tell you, you know what? You're right. You're not.
Yeah.
If you do that, you're a jerk.
Oh yeah.
So you have to be able to let them talk.
Yeah.
And I think that's rule number one for men. Shut up and listen, number one.
That's the hardest thing to do.
But dude, you know I'm right. You know I'm right. I learned this in college. I took women's studies courses, and I thank younger Dave all the time. Like, younger Dave, you were smart for doing that.
Yeah.
It gave me an edge. It gave me a way into the female brain. Because isn't that what we try to do? That's like the pursuit of men all our lives is, how can we learn how they think?
Yes.
You're never going to figure it out. So stop trying to figure it out.
Exactly.
Because it's like one of these Pandora's box mazes. It changes like a Harry Potter staircase, dude. It moves all the time.
Exactly.
Sometimes there's so much going through a woman's brain, they don't know what's going on.
Exactly.
They're thinking, when y'all two are in bed too, they're thinking during that. They're not, just so we're clear, they're thinking about what they need to do the next week at work. They want to clean the house. They're thinking about all these things when you're like, hey, baby, what can you be with me right now? Like, sorry.
Yeah, we don't multitask well.
No, they kick our butts on that. Stacy's like, yeah, shut up and listen, LOL. But it's the truth. I think if more men understood that, put your ego to the side.
Yeah.
And say, you know what, I need to listen to the woman. Wesley Snipes said that in White Man Can't Jump, did he not?
Yeah, he definitely said
and Woody Harrelson's character didn't shut up and listen to the woman, and she left him.
Yeah.
So watch art imitate life. It is the truth. I'm not saying you have to agree, but listen, and you might pick up on something that you need to do for her, because women aren't necessarily going to say, baby, I need you to do this for me. That's something a woman won't say. They won't say they need you.
Yeah.
Because they really don't.
No.
We need them.
Exactly.
They don't need us.
Exactly. I know Sonya said that I agree with all you guys, but we have to build our men up as well. And
yes, thank you.
Amanda says, she just got done typing this, definitely agree about Lil' Kim, blew my mind. However, many of these women have deep-rooted issues that stem from how they were raised. Unfortunately, the very people that they grew up with, family for the most part, are the ones who raised them, feeling and believing they'll never be beautiful. Then when they get the finance means, it becomes a drug and they're addicted to making themselves better. And, that is definitely the sad reality of it. And I keep saying it all over again, I'm glad I'm not single in this day and age.
Well, no part of it.
I think I'm pretty odd too. I'm very awkward. And but it's definitely hard. We're living in a right now society. I'm gonna go get it and make myself look like it society, and we have a false sensehood of
they continue to make.
Yeah, we have a false sensehood of what love truly is. Love is kind. Love is patient. Love doesn't quit.
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up, because that is the holy grail, is it not?
Yeah.
Other than finding the one true Bible that was out there that was written, the holy grail of What is love? Well, I think the most complicated thing about that is it's different to everybody.
Yes.
I've used this comparison before. It's like we all have different fingerprints. Mm-hmm. There's not one on our 10 fingers, if we're blessed enough to have 10, that looks the same as the other one, right?
Yeah.
Mine don't look like yours. You don't look like anybody else's. So our idea and how we perceive love is different. So number one, don't try to define it.
Yeah.
It's just a feeling.
Oh yeah.
That's all it is. It's a feeling, and you know it when you have it, and you know it when you don't have it. Mm-hmm. If you're with somebody just because of how they look, that's not love. If you're just with somebody how much money they make, that's not love. But if you're with somebody and you feel confident when you're laying down at night that they're going to be there and they have your back the next day, no matter what happens, that could be it. That could be it. And you'll know what it is. So you can't look for it. If you're looking for it, you won't find it. It's one of those things that will find you. Am I wrong?
You're right. You're right. And I mean, it goes back to the women too. You can't go looking for a guy. He has to find you. Now, in the process of him finding you, you can't be in Walmart looking like you're in Saudi Arabia or somewhere. You know.
And smelling like it too.
Like you're smoking Camel cigarettes.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, listen. I said last week, you gotta be wife ready.
Let's talk about that. What is that?
So when you walk out the door, or when you have conversations, you have an aura about yourself. You like, men can look at you instantly and be like, man, she would be great wife material, or she would be a good wife just by talking to you. Now they know the fun girl automatically because the fun girl is going to talk about doing fun things. And they're going to say, I can do this to you, or I can do that to you. And that's the fun girl.
Right.
You know, the wife is like, I can do this for you. I can make you better. And guys will start looking at women and say, man, she can definitely make me better. It's a reason why a lot of girls are like, I can't believe my dude cheated with her. Or I can't believe he messed with her. I can't believe she's with him. I can't believe that. And the thing is, it's something about that person that the other person sees and say, you know what, this person is the person I need to be with.
Yeah.
They're like wife ready, and that person can be super ugly to you, and you like, I just don't get it. But it was something in her that you didn't possess. And like I said, a lot of women are walking around right now that are wife ready, that are wife material, but they settle for somebody who's not ready to be a husband. They were like, you know what, I want all the muscles laying beside me at night. I want that good looking beside me, or I just want somebody. So they settle for anything. So they can never get the person that God wants to bring to them because they got so much baggage in the way. You know, I can't stand a person that just has clutter. What's the name of that TV show where you
hoarders?
Hoarders.
Yeah.
A lot of women, a lot of men are hoarding past relationships.
Oh yeah.
You can't get to the true person because there's so much junk in front of you that you can't get to. I'm trying to dig out and get there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to dig out and get there.
Yep.
But you got so much stuff that it won't allow me to love you or get close to you.
Well, that's a part of being ready as the male before you're trying to look for somebody who's wife material.
Yeah.
You've got to understand, how do I look?
Yeah.
Not physically. How do I look and how do I sound? How do I present myself if this person starts talking to me and picking my brain and they can tell right away that I'm damaged?
Oh yeah.
Number one, we're all damaged.
Yeah.
We all have been done wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we learn. We learn through pain. One of the things you laughed about in coaching years ago was I said, hey, pain's the best reminder.
Oh yeah.
And you were like, wow, never heard that before. That's true. There's so many different ways you can take that. Physical, mental, emotional. We don't forget our losses. We don't forget our pains. We don't forget the bad boyfriend, the bad girlfriend.
Yeah.
We remember them more than we should. It's about, don't give that power to that person.
Yeah.
Don't let that person control what you're doing in your present or what's going to happen in your future.
Yeah. Exactly.
Don't look at the person that's in the same house with you who loves you and say, you know what, you sound like her. Tell you what, you do that might be the last thing you say.
Exactly.
And they're going to skip the couch process. You're just out, brother. You know? So,
and you think about it, a lot of people are getting in relationships and they want the feeling that they used to have from their
oh, they used to. Oh, Oh,
So,
they used to.
you know,
Yeah.
the worst thing you can definitely say to a man is, well, my ex didn't ever do that. My ex didn't make me feel that way, and blah, blah, blah. We have got to let go of that baggage and stop hoarding our past relationships. Our past relationships is what's keeping a lot of people.
That's an anchor.
Yeah, and you get somebody. What's the point of dating somebody and you can't trust them? Like
that's a good point.
You went to the bathroom. Did you cheat on me? I just went to the bathroom.
Texting. Let's talk about how that works. Where there's a lot of passive aggressive stuff that goes into that. So we all get messages, whether from our kids at night telling us good night, even sometimes in the same house, right?
Yeah.
The kid doesn't want to get up and they tell you good night.
Yeah.
And they go, "Who's that?"
Yeah.
You know, or you get a little thing on Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, hey,
yeah.
well, what's going on?"
Yeah.
There's the tone there. So if they say, "Oh, what's going on? What's up?" Now that means I trust you. But if it's, "Oh, what you got there?" That means I don't trust you.
Oh yeah.
So that's where the communication and the trust comes in. Do you have that foundation of trust? And you find that out very quick too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Very quick.
Yeah. I mean, it's very hard. I believe. Listen, when you get into a new relationship, I strongly believe you need to, both of you need to sit down and look, okay, let's talk about it. Let's change phone numbers. We're going to be serious about each other. Let's get rid of those old phone numbers so people don't have access to you. And then a lot of times, I hate Messenger. If you call me on Messenger, you kind of weird me out, unless you tell me beforehand. I don't answer. But so many people have access to you now that shouldn't have access to you.
Man.
And those are the things that you have to look at. That's like scary, because you look at these relationships and you're like, dang, would I want her to do me like that? Or do I want this to happen? Sonia has a great question. She says, okay, I have a great question for y'all. Why is it so hard to find a great guy when you have some great qualities? I am a Christian, not a mediocre Christian. I'm in ministry. I have a career. I take great care of myself by working out, eating healthy. I have awesome grown children. Of course, I have bad days, but most days I'm joyous. I have been divorced for 3 years and only had a 3-month relationship. That's it. I'll say this thing. I have went, and I don't know what church you go to, what church, but let me tell you some of my experiences with single Christian women. This is not every church, but I have watched some people that I think, like, being over religious will scare the average guy. Of course, he needs to be on your level or willing to participate in church, because the Bible says don't be unequally yoked. So you can't date somebody that's Muslim or into another religion. You got to have somebody that's within your faith. But a lot of times I've seen women that are so radical that it would scare a man. I've been in situations where I've been to churches where women only wear long dresses, or they feel like they wear pants, they'll never get a man. I just think a lot of times a lot of people are not ready for religion like they should be, or they're not on your level. And sometimes, I'm not saying tone ourselves down, but you got to know the guy that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
You got to know what his appetite is and what he can stomach or what he can stand. We had a situation where we were going out and we were visiting people, praying for them, going out to the projects and different things like that. And instead of this one person just praying normally, this person busts out and starts just praying in tongues.
Oh boy.
Now, if you're not ready for tongues and different things, you're going to scare the life out of the person. Like, listen, I don't want no part of this Jesus thing. You scare me right now. You're speaking in languages I've never heard of. And we have to be mindful of those different things.
Yes.
So when you're dating and you're a Christian, you have to know the person you're dating and what type level they're on. Because me, I love the Lord, I love Jesus, but I don't want to hear about that every day, especially over a date. We're out dating and we're, this and that, and you're like, well, God will provide. Well, God will do this. Well, God will do that. God is so wonderful. God, I'm like, okay, who are you?
Yeah.
I want to know who you are.
Right.
I want to get to know you, because there's so many religious walls there. And then at the same time, you have to be careful. I've seen so many men, my God, come up to women and lie to women in church. Walk right up to them, tap them on the shoulder. God said, you're going to be my wife.
That's a nice pickup line.
I mean, listen, and one guy actually took this girl, and I hadn't seen her since. Sweet girl, very sweet girl. But when I took God said, "You gonna be my wife?" Well, don't you think God will let me get the time to know you and really realize that you are crazy? I mean, there's so much chaos going on in the church, and I think it's more harder to date in the church. And I see certain situations where the pastor wants to know who you're dating, and he needs to meet the guy, and he has to get stamp of approval. That's another story, though.
It is.
But I pray I answered your question, and I don't think you're like that at all. But it is a lot of people that are overly religious, and it would scare the average guy.
Well, I mean, we could say that about a lot of things. It could be overly political.
Definitely.
It could be overly health conscious.
Yeah.
I mean, all these different things because we have things that we like to do and that we love to do. So if you meet somebody who can't stand Southern cooking,
oh man,
that would be bye-bye.
Yeah.
Like for me and you, that'd be like, see ya,
Definitely.
So, religion is a big one, but I think that one goes parallel to so many other things. And what we're trying to say, at least I think what we're trying to say here, is that common interests cannot be overstated.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the twin of the person.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have some differences too, because that way that makes for interesting conversation.
Exactly.
And it is about the mental attraction. And Stacy's like, oh no, you can't stand Southern cooking. That's a no can do. I'm with you there. I'm with you there. Those Northerners, they can't cook that well. So, and half of my family is from the North, and so I know what I'm talking about. Anyhow, it's the truth. It's the truth. Dude, we love our food.
We love
our quickest way to a man's heart is fill his belly.
Oh my gosh.
Fill his belly and put him in front of a TV with football on. And call it a day.
Yeah.
We're simple. We're simple. We're simple species, and but as educated men, we're also very old school too. That's why you and I share so many common interests. Is we do agree on what it takes to treat a woman correctly.
Yeah.
It's respect.
Yeah.
It's respect. It's being kind. It's treating the blended family kids just like you treat yours.
Yeah.
That is what speaks to a woman is treat her kids with love and kindness and not favoritism with yours that you brought into the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And for a lot of guys, they can't do it.
Yeah. A
lot of guys draw the line like, you know what, you ain't mine. You got a separate set of rules. And some people can function that way.
Yeah.
I found myself thinking right away, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to love these kids just like they're mine.
Exactly.
And because I knew that if I didn't, that it wasn't going to work. I knew the name of the game.
Yes.
And if you care about that person enough, then you're going to make that change. And there are also sacrifices that you got to make too, where, like you said, you can't be dating coaching.
Yeah.
Man, have I made strides with that? I mean, shoot, volunteer coaching now, and it's hard for me because, like we talked about before the show, you want to have FaceTime with those kids.
Exactly.
But at the same time, you did make a commitment to your household. You did say, I told these people, I'm going to be here for you this year.
Mm-hmm.
For 4 months, it's not going to be, oh, well, Dad's on the road.
Exactly.
No. The arrangement is I'll be there when I can be there, and I'm going to be home, too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to be one of those ever-evolving things.
Yeah, and I think, listen, I'm far from perfect. I'm far from a lot of things that people think about me. I am far from those things. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes daily. But I'm responsible for 4 young women, 4 daughters. And my whole mindset of women definitely changed once my daughters were born. And and like I said it before, like, would I be the guy that I would want my daughters to date? And at some point in my life, I was like, heck no. And at some point, you're like, yes. But I was just blessed to have a loving grandmother that changed my whole view on women.
Yes.
And so, if you're a grandmother out there, you have like my deepest heart. Like I hate to see kids treat their grandparents bad because I understand my grandmother raised me. She was everything for me. So I take that seriously, and I understand and not to be a black or white issue, but you know, I feel like all women are abused as a whole, and I feel like men don't protect our women. You know,
not enough. No.
You know, and I look at as a black race, we really dump and dog on our women because you know our music says it all. A lot of stuff we say about women in music is just like, oh my God, this is trash. Why would we say that? Or even R&B music now. R&B music used to tell us how to fall in love, how to love a woman, how to keep a relationship. Now it leaves nothing to the imagination. We talk about what we're going to do, how we're going to flip you up, rub you upside down, oh no, what the girl is going to do to you. We talk about all of those things and not about the art of staying and being in love.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like we protect our women enough. And a woman needs to know that she is protected, that you know that she has that security blanket. My daughters, I think they would, that haunted house she was talking about.
Yeah.
That everybody you get $20,000.
Yes. Yes.
I listen. My daughters will go in that haunted house with me, knowing that I want to protect them. That's
Right.
how much faith and how much they believe in the security thing when it comes. I'm not gonna let any harm come to them. I'll take it all day before I let it happen to them. So me having daughters, me being raised by a wonderful, great woman, has changed my whole mindset when it comes to women. And I found myself a lot of times when I was out in the dating world, when I was just dogging women, and I was like, Lord, this is not right. And I got to the point where I started telling on myself. And I was like, listen, don't you want better for yourself?
Yeah.
You know, I only call you after 11 o'clock at night. I don't take you to the movies. I don't do any of those things. And yet you call me your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Is this what a boyfriend does? I'm hanging out all day and I don't hang out with you.
Yeah.
Is that what you want for yourself? I'm like, you got to want better for yourself. And if you don't want better for yourself, you'll stand for anything. So I got to a point where I just started telling on myself, I was like, women can't be this naive. Men, it is so important to be involved in your kid's life. And especially if you got a son, the first idea your son is going to get about love is how you treat their mother.
Oh, absolutely.
Whether you're with that woman or not,
Yeah.
you still treat her with respect. I know guys, just because they got a kid from the woman, they're not together, but they will give their son, take their son to the store and say, all right, it's Mother's Day, buy your mom something. Mm-hmm. It's your mom's birthday, here, go buy your mom something. But we feel like when we break up with people or when the relationships end, we kind of forget about the kids and we feel like we have to be enemies. We don't have to be enemies. There could be a common ground. We know we have to raise this kid together still, and we still need to be great to each other. And as long as we can do that, we'll be all right. But guys have to understand that she's in a working relationship with you. She's not no piece of meat you can come lay up with and try to be with whenever you want. You have a working relationship because you have a child together. We got to get back to the point of protecting our women.
You bring up something important too, and we don't give enough credence to this. We live in a very ADHD society.
Yes.
Okay. So we're paying less and less attention to the things that are truly important. Mm-hmm. It has infiltrated every part of our lives. Yeah. It started back in the 90s with the quick meals for dinner, right? Where single parenthood exploded onto the American scene. So it was just feed the kids, don't worry about it. So the family dinner table evaporated. There was no more conversation at the family table, which used to be the most important conversation of the day. People used to have breakfast, and they come home at night and have a good dinner. How was your day? How was school? How was work? Everybody good? Cool. That's something that we try to do here as much as we can. It's very important to us where we do the unplugging. You take these, and they are not to be at the table.
Yeah.
That's a rule.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing it should be inside of your relationship. If you and your spouse are having a conversation and that person's doing this, oh wow, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's offensive.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and that means that they are tuning you out.
Yeah.
That means that whatever's in front of them is more important than what you're trying to share at that moment. Now I get it. There are things where we do have to multitask, where you got a kid saying, Mom, I'm out of my club now. I need you to come pick me up in your middle of conversation. That's fine. I get it. Not talking about that. I'm talking about the basic where you're letting the kids come with the earbuds to the dinner table, or you're out at dinner with your spouse and she's got her phone out and she's talking to her friend in her ear, and you're not important, or vice versa. If you're doing it to her, that's another aspect that we're talking about today too. Is that this is multifaceted. Are you covering the bases? Are you giving 100% to that person? It can't be 99%.
Exactly. We need that's a whole nother show right there.
Isn't that great?
When it comes to cell phones, I mean, listen, I get on my football players all the time. Coaches would talk and everybody got their phones out. I'm like, all right, give me your phones.
Yeah, that doesn't work with me, man.
Put them up. I mean, you know, it was a whole nother level of discipline.
Yeah.
When it came to us, I told them the other day, I said, some of the stuff that y'all did, I said, man, we would still be running for it right now.
Oh, God.
But, you know, that's a whole other subject we can definitely dive into. I don't think we can dive into.
Well, I think what we...
Gosh.
I definitely think what we could do next is generational differences.
Yeah.
We haven't touched on that one yet.
Exactly.
But it does play into what as men right now, and we could be talking about the 20-somethings, we could be talking about the 30-somethings. Obviously, you and I are in the early 40-somethings right now, so we have been through trials, we have been through tribulations, we're speaking from pain, we're speaking from success. We never cover everything on here. I know, we just try to start the conversation and get people to say, look, you know what, I hadn't thought about that. And I think a lot of you out there today have definitely been responding positively towards some of the very simple things. What's coming up on your screen right now?
I'm laughing at Amanda Bell.
What's she saying?
She goes back to my little coaching theory. She said, I can vouch for you on that cell phone issue. You began that with the girls on the way to games, laugh out loud, no phones. And it was just the time I needed them to focus and think about the game. I remember as a football team, we used to go eat pregame meal, and then we would go into the weight room and just lay on the mats and go to sleep. But now they got headphones in their ears, they dance and they run around
distracted
and talking. They are beyond distracted. And so when it comes to doing their job, they can't focus. And you know, it goes back. Do I think a lot of us was ADHD back in the day? Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
I knew I was ADHD. My grandma would just knock me out, and I was like, that's the best medicine ever. You know, I was around acting crazy, but now I'm fine. I'm focused. You know, but we're not living in those days and times no more. And I listen to people over and over again talk about the different mental issues they got, the different this they got going on, that going on, but they don't ever give their brain time just to rest.
Stillness.
Yeah, you just have to come home, sit down, probably lay down, take a nap, and just chill. But we can't do that. We got so much going on. We got to put our headphones on. We got to listen to this. We got to listen to that. And some of this new rap music is driving me crazy.
Which is a different show too. Well, dude, that started back a long time ago. You know, I mean, there was some good rhyming and good messages back in the day. But yeah, I mean, that's a show all to its own.
I'm gonna tell you though, the funny thing with me is like Tupac was my favorite rapper.
And he was dirty though, dude.
Yeah, he was like the best to me. I love Tupac.
Oh, great poet.
Because he made me feel everything he said.
Yeah.
But I promise you, once Tupac got killed, I didn't want to listen to no other rappers. I started rapping myself.
Yeah, you said that before.
I mean, I was like, okay, let me get my pad and my pen out and let me try this, because I didn't want to hear anything else. And people just haven't grasped that concept. And I mean, I'm not knocking the new generation. Some of their music is pretty good. Some of the mumble rap is good.
We are knocking the generation.
I'm actually, I have to admit, I actually like some of the stuff that to rap. The Baby, I think he can actually rap.
I don't know this guy.
Oh my God, he can actually rap.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard him. He put this song together on Wale's new album. I like Wale because Wale is a poet.
Okay.
So he put this song out, and I thought it was really good. I listened to the Kanye West album yesterday.
Old Kanye's good.
Yeah, this Kanye West right here that said Jesus is King. You can just keep that out. If I would have bought that CD, it's what we call a coaster.
Well, that's what's great.
You put it on a coaster.
Oh yeah, I was that guy that would buy a CD like one song on it. And then you're like, dang, I just spent $15 on this thing. It's garbage. Yes. Love iTunes.
And now I got my record player hooked up to the surround sound. Oh man, some of that old Marvin Gaye.
Yes. I just got a new vinyl. Actually, not new, but Demi got me Johnny Cash.
Yeah, listen.
From the Johnny Cash show.
Yeah, I need to go get Lauryn Hill's album. I think it's in Target right now, but it's just something about vinyl that soothes my soul. So yeah, I'm going to do that. But yeah, he could have kept this gospel album. And I figured out, well, a lot of times, a lot of people try to do is when they mess up in life and, you know, they on some other planet, they're like, all right, you know what? I'm going to do a gospel album. I remember when R. Kelly was going through like his first rape trial or something of that nature, he came out with a gospel album. This gospel album was great.
Okay.
Because he can write a song, but he was trying to cover up what he was actually doing and going through. So that's what they normally do. So Kanye West, he could have kept his gospel album. Don't waste y'all time on it. Trash. All right, sorry.
No, that's cool. That's cool. There's another point that came up here. Demi says they had to make a rule that filters aren't allowed on dating sites anymore because we are always looking for the perfect image of ourselves and others.
Wow. Go, Demi.
That's
that's deep.
That's a great rule though, because there are a lot of people out there that, man, you look at them and you're like, wow, how are you single? Yeah. And they show up, you're like, whoa, dang, now I know how you're single.
Catfish.
You're like,
oh, they got catfish. Yeah. It goes back to Fridays when Chris Tucker got the girl pulling up and
looking like Janet Jackson.
He's like, wait a minute, you say you like Janet Jackson, you got to come like Freddie Jackson.
Yeah, and she takes her hair off.
I mean, listen, I've met people on social media and I see them in person. I'm like, woo. There's this funny. I gotta show it to you. It's on Twitter. It's this one girl. She's looking down at the guy's phone.
Yeah.
She looks back up, and she's looking at the guy. Look at her like Instagram page. Her Instagram page. She was beautiful. Yeah. She was on that couch. She was like a raccoon. It was scary.
Oh.
And she was looking. I have to show it to you. Straight hilarious.
Wow, a raccoon.
But I mean, listen. People are, and I can't get hype about this again. I know we got to cut this show out. But listen. People are putting a filter on their life.
Yes.
They're just swiping right.
Yes.
And they're giving you a false sense of who they really are.
Right.
And I always tell people, when you start dating somebody new, do not tell them everything you've been through. Don't tell them that your last dude did this, and you hated it, and he did this, and he did that. What you're doing right now is you're creating a new man because you're telling him all the things you don't like, and he's going to do the total opposite of me. He's going to do exactly what you say you don't like. He's not going to do any of those things.
Yeah.
And then when he finally gets what he wants, then you're going to see the real Willie. And I'm sorry, Willie is just my go-to name.
That's your go-to generic name, yes.
It sounds funny. But, you know, we can't tell people all of those things. We've got to learn to learn. We got to learn to know people. It's okay to tell them your testimony and tell them your story, but you can't tell them everything you've been through and the different things you dislike because you are creating a man.
Isn't that common sense, though?
It's not common sense for a lot of people. A lot of people get together and just blab about everything.
That's self-sabotage.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have you been in the store and like a person just starts talking to you and they tell you everything about themselves? And you're like, this is weird.
Well, see, I'm the mean guy.
Yeah.
I'll do this. I back away. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Hey, but I gotta, I'm that guy. Yeah. I just back away and see, you're nicer than me.
I'm a sea-guppy. I'm like, sure, tell me your life problems.
Yeah, you're much nicer than me.
Let me counsel you.
You're so much of a better guy than me. I'm painfully honest, and some people really like that about me. Yeah. But others are like, dang, dude, you're just rude. And I'm like, no, I just don't have time to listen to nonsense.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm in Walmart, the store I hate the most on this earth. I don't want to be in there longer than I gotta be.
Yeah, it's god awful. I told you we go get one thing, that's it. Women come out with 25 things. That's another story.
Ooh, you're gonna get yourself in trouble now.
Yeah, it's a whole other story.
That's funny.
Orders do the same thing. I just want to get one thing. Right.
We were in the barbershop this morning. Dylan's sitting next to me, and he's like, "Where's Mom?" I was like, "She's shopping." He's like, "Shopping for what?" I said, "Dude, woman doesn't need anything to go shopping for.
They just shop.
So they wake up ready to go shopping.
Yeah.
I said, man, we have to have a mission.
Yeah.
And we go accomplish that mission.
I know, like I haven't got a new Call of Duty yet. Stop it.
Just stop it.
I need to stop my Best Buy.
I gotta get the 2K, that's all I care about.
I got that too.
Do you?
Yeah, but Janaea plays it. She because it has WNBA on it.
I bet the Lakers are better on the game than they are in real life.
Oh my God. Well, listen, we showed out. Here we go.
I got you. Come on now. I got you. Clippers own y'all this year. You know it.
LeBron is old and he is washed up.
Clippers are going to own y'all all year long.
The Lakers are going to win the championship.
So stop it.
They're going.
I'll bet you right now they won't.
We're going to bet. We're going to be like Skip.
I'll bet you dinner.
A case of Duke.
I'll bet you dinner.
All right, y'all heard it here first. Lakers are going to win the championship. Who you got winning the championship? Clippers? Nah, they won't even make it to the finals.
Oh my God.
We are knocking them off, baby.
Stop it.
It's going down. Y'all gotta realize LeBron James was getting everybody else on the team ready. He was distributing the ball. He was like, hey, this is your team, baby. This is your team. This is why we bought you here.
Don't believe that.
And he's distributing the ball to everybody else. This is what it's going to take to hit a game-winning shot.
Here, I gotta ask you this.
Y'all ready for the finals, baby.
I gotta ask you this. I know we're way off topic here. I have to ask you this. When he said in the press conference after that night, he said, this ain't a rivalry. He's lying.
Oh, yeah, he's lying about that.
Why would you? See, that's something that Mike back in the day would say, heck yeah, it's a rivalry. I want to kick that dude's butt every time.
Listen, LeBron is passively aggressive. But when he plays in that next time, he's going to be trying to stick it down his throat. He is going to put it on his behind. You heard it here first.
I'm going to remind you that.
LeBron James, MVP. Lakers are going to win the fight. LeBron doesn't win MVP. Anthony Davis is going to win MVP.
I cannot wait to pick out my restaurant in June. I cannot wait. I can taste that food now. I'm going to have you get me a good drink, too.
Go Lakers.
Hey, I was a Lakers fan back when Showtime, Magic, Kareem back in the day. That was the real Lakers. This is the swipe right Lakers version right now.
Who's your team now?
I don't have one.
See, I'm
going to choose one now.
I always get in arguments with folks that don't have teams. And I want to shout out my cousin Rod and Zeb and everybody who are like really trolling me now. Rod is a New York Knicks fan.
Ooh.
Zeb is a Miami Heat fan. But for some odd reason, the other night when the Clippers won, it was like, the Clippers is my team. We're going all the way, baby.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm a Clippers fan. Why y'all want to troll me like that? LA all day, baby. Let's go.
Just the wrong LA. I think we're done here. I think the train has gone off the tracks. Oh my goodness.
Lakers.
You got any parting shots you'd like to say about today's show?
Listen, everybody, just take the advice that we're giving. We don't ever claim to be professional, but it's like I tell my kids, I went through it, so you don't have to go through it.
Amen.
I took the lumps and the bruises. I deal with a lot of people that are going through a lot of the issues we talked about today, and I just want to encourage you guys that when I say stay wife ready or stay husband ready, you just can't. You can't go out and not be the best version of yourself. Don't go to work and be sad all the time.
Yeah.
Don't just put off this sad image and just be gloomy all the time. You got to be the best version of yourself at all times. And when God's time happens, when God puts the person in your life, you'll know. And you'll be like, man, I wasn't even looking. And that's how it goes.
That's exactly how it goes.
You just have to be blessed. And I got to end what Amanda Bell says, laugh out loud. I don't have a favorite team anymore. Loved the Pacers at one time, but now I'm a Curry. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to say it.
They're in trouble.
She likes Curry and Thompson fan.
They're in trouble.
It's just like my wife. They got a little light-skinned glow going on. There's a war going on between light-skinned people and dark-skinned people. So they got the light-skinned.
You just can't help yourself.
I definitely can't help myself. Go Lakers! Go Lakers!
That dinner's tasting good. Man.
Hey, Coach Bell, get her right now. Tell her about liking these light-skinned people. Amanda, you owe your husband a pair of shoes for this.
Seafood on the water, I can smell it now.
This has got to stop. She's dying laughing right now.
As for me, listen, you're trying to bait me. I ain't going to do it. As as for me, hey, I think just keep it simple. For you guys out there, keep it simple. It's about self-respect. It's respecting the person that's across the table from you.
Okay.
Talk to that person as if that is the most important person in your life. And if it's not, then you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. Okay? I actually love this show today. It's been fun. And coming up will be lucky number 13 next week. And I think it definitely could be, I'm not sure, but it could be talking about the generational gap in America. It's something that me and this man right here have talked about. We'd love to teach a class about this.
Oh my God.
It hits home. I know that every generation has a problem with the one before it.
Yes.
But there is a gaping hole going on in America right now, and I know all of you have things that you want to say about it. So write those things down. Have them ready to talk about.
You turned all my fans against me, Coach.
Well, dude, they know the truth.
Everybody gonna hear on my head right now. Even Shauna saying, "Hey man, all God's time, just sit down somewhere." Listen,
they know the truth.
Studying them little dudes in Golden State. I know what y'all talking about.
They know the truth.
Man, what? Hey, listen,
come out.
I got one more thing to say.
Go ahead.
You know, if you're in a relationship, whatever you do, don't force your wife to be a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan.
Oh,
You heard it here first.
Hey, she just likes it for the colors. We're red, black, and silver. Everybody likes red, black, and silver. We suck. It's okay. You're stupid.
It could be worse. You could be a Steelers fan right now. I don't know why I'm
Thank you.
I don't know why I'm talking about.
We got more wins than y'all with only 2.
Ooh, we so trash right now. I mean, like, our quarterback is better than ours. This is a shame.
At least you own it.
And y'all got a middle school quarterback.
There's always next year.
I'm sick of just always
He runs quicker with crab legs in his pocket than he does with a football in his hand.
He definitely does.
Sorry, guys, we lost it today. Sorry. We were good for the first 45 minutes. These last 15, we've been garbage. We love y'all. Thanks for tuning in as always. Please get on Facebook. We're at 59 subscribers. Let's get to 60. We're at 99 people in our fans of J.O.B. podcast on Facebook. Let's get to 100. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Let's get those numbers up. Let's keep getting bigger every week. It's y'all's show. We thank you for making us bigger. We laugh because you're tuning in and you make it fun for us. We never want to forget our fans out there. We never want to forget the fact that you take time out of your busy days, especially on Saturday. That's the toughest day of the week. And you are here with us. So thank you. God bless you. So very thankful. For Ty Steele, I'm Dave Ford. Y'all be blessed. Be safe. Have an awesome week. Enjoy the rain. Get a nap. We love y'all. Peace. God bless.
Peace.